We've got exactly 2 months left in the year, and so far it has been an amazing one. We've got one more set that's due to release at the end of next week, Surging Sparks, which appears to be the best set of 2024. We'll see how that set does once it comes out, but for today, our focus will be on the top 5 sealed products that you want to consider buying for November. Let's get started. So coming in number 5 is the Stellar Crown Booster Box. Now, of course, Stellar Crown just came out about a month and a half ago now, and or close to, it's coming into 2 months now. And it's actually pretty affordable still. So if we go down here and look at the price here, we're actually looking at around $107. And it's not going for anything crazy like Twilight Masquerade or Paldea Evolved, but because it's not up there yet, and I do feel like it's one of those booster boxes that should do well in the future, it's a good time to buy it because it's still around that MSRP price, $107. It's not too bad. Pull rates on this one, you have mixed conversations about it, but in reality, the pull rates are difficult, especially for special illustration rares. They're not that great. With that being said, that should help move the price of this booster box up in the future. And of course, this set does have a lot of nice cards in it as well, such as Bulbasaur and Squirtle, your illustration rares, and a few other illustration rares that are also really nice in this set. The TheRealVenusaur EX, of course, that one is the heavy chase card from this set, and I do feel like with the pull rates, and I believe it was 1 in 90 for a special illustration rare, and if you wanted a specific one, it was 1 in 540, so those are not favorable pull rates, if you want to call it that. Again, not as hard as maybe, for example, some of the other sets for the illustration rares, but in general, it's a little bit of a difficult set to pull from, and that again may increase the value of Stellar Crown. So Stellar Crown, in my opinion, takes the number 5 spot. It's definitely a booster box that I would be investing in. I would prioritize it over Paradox Rift or Temporal Forces. Of course, over Obsidian Flame as well. So Stellar Crown takes the number 5 spot in the top 5 products that you want to consider investing in for November. Coming in the number 4 spot is the Sword and Shield Ultra Premium Collection Box. That's right, the Charizard Ultra Premium Collection Box. And there's a reason why I picked this one, because it's still relatively affordable. We're looking at $162. That's what it's going for, up about 17% over the last 3 months. And in comparison to some of the other Ultra Premium Collection boxes, such as like Pokemon 151, which completely exploded and I think is a little bit out there in price, of course, this one is still relatively affordable. And don't forget, this one does have Sword and Shield era packs in it, such as Brilliant Stars, Evolving Skies, Fusion Strike, Lost Origin. So all the ones that people really tend to like, those sets from the Sword and Shield era, they're all included in this box. So it's actually a really good box. Not to mention, of course, the 3 Charizard promo cards that you get with this one as well, which are really cool as well. So this one actually is a good buy in my opinion. Let's look at some of the recent sales on this one. So if we look at just, in the past week or so, we're looking at about $195 to $220. If you want to tack on some shipping as well, we're looking about another $60. So you're looking around a $250 mark for this one. In Canadian, that is. You can do the shipping to see what it looks like in US, but essentially you're looking around $250 Canadian, which is still not too bad for this box. So the Ultra Premium Collection Box, the Charizard one, takes number 4 spot in the top 5 that you want to consider investing in for November. And the next one is a little bit of a different one. I decided to go with something a little bit different, and I thought that, that it's something that we should really talk about. It's this Charizard EX Super Premium Collection Box. And there's a reason why I wanted to add this one to the collection, and takes, of course, the number 3 spot. First off, it's pretty affordable. It's $57, and you're getting 10 booster packs, and reasonable booster packs, such as Twilight Masquerade. You're getting a couple of those. You're getting a couple Stellar Crown, and of course, you get Temporal Forces and whatnot with it as well. But this one comes with, of course, the Charizard, the figurine, the Charizard figurine. And if you look at some of the past figurine collection boxes, such as the Charizard Blastoise Venusaur ones from quite a few years back, those ones tend to do really well. And again, that box was going for only around $40 or $50 as well. Now you have to pay around $300 or $400 for that box, so it's insane. So this one, again, it's a popular Pokemon. It's Charizard for one, and I do feel like the figure collection boxes do well, especially when it's very popular Pokemon, that is, and Charizard is a very popular one. So this one over here, $57 US, that is, of course. It's really not too bad, and you know what? Why not pick up a couple of them? And the other thing about this one as well is it's not as crazy big as your ultra premium collection boxes as well, which gets difficult when it comes to shipping. So if you are going to be flipping these, this one is not a bad idea for the future. Of course, right now it's readily available. It's not something that's going to sell for crazy amounts of money right now, but in the future it may. And just to look at, the actual set here, you got that Charizard there, you got a few promo cards, and of course the 10 booster packs that I talked about. So the Charizard EX Super Premium Collection box takes the number 3 spot in the top 5 products that you want to consider investing in for November. And of course, as this is a relatively new box, I'm not going to be looking at the recent sales on it. You can probably get it for around that $58 mark US, or around $80, $90 Canadian. And taking the number 2 spot is Paldea Evolved Booster Box. So this one over here, arguably one of the best sets, the Scarlet and Violet era. And of course, there was the reprint or restock that recently happened, which showed a little bit of fluctuation in the price here, and we're going to look at that here in a moment. But even with that happening, the price of this one has gone back up to its normal value, about $140 US. And that being said, this is actually the second most expensive booster box in the Scarlet and Violet era after Twilight Masquerade. Twilight Masquerade has taken over that spot, and again, the argument there, of course, is the Greninja there, which is worth almost $300, and that's probably one of the reasons why that set has exceeded Paldea Evolved. Of course, the pull rates on that set is very difficult as well. But focusing on Paldea Evolved, we're looking at around $140 US. I think this is a good one to consider adding to your collections, as again, we had the conversation about restocks or the reprints. We had some sort of a restock that occurred recently, and now with that being done, and again, we don't know what the future holds with this set, we're at $140 US. I think this one will climb further in the future, and it's a popular set. You've got Magikarp, you've got Iono, you've got Tyranitar. Tyranitar is coming in the number 3 spot right now in this set. And of course, you've got Raichu, who's also climbed up and is the number 4 spot. And I wouldn't be surprised, as I've mentioned earlier in some of my recent videos, the Tyranitar and the Raichu taking over that Iono card and going into the top 2 and 3 spots. Can't say that it will take over the Magikarp, because Magikarp is the more popular card in this set, and they had gone down a bit since we had the restock and reprint conversation, so it's a good time to pick up those singles as well. But just to focus again on the Paldea Evolved Booster Box, going for $140, and looking at the most recent sales on this one here, so the booster boxes are going for around $200, $230 if you look at the shipping as well, which is roughly around that US 140 price. So Paldea Evolved takes the number 2 spot right now that you want to consider investing in for November. And the number 1 product, which I also mentioned in October, is the Surging Sparks Booster Box. Now, just a little bit of a conversation and background on this one. This one is going to be a little bit more of an expensive booster box right out the gate. And the reason why is because, as per some of my suppliers, they're not getting as much product as they did with some of the other sets. So I don't know if that means that, you know, Pokemon is holding back on giving to the suppliers, which would then give to the stores. But one thing I want to caution everyone about is if you've done a fair amount of pre-ordering, you may not actually get that order. I know that sounds crazy, and this is me just telling you based off of the information that I have. Surging Sparks was not distributed as much as your Twilight Masquerade or your Stellar Crown. So if you made a heavy pre-order, some of your pre-order may get canceled. So that's something that I want everyone to be cautious about, or just warn you guys all about. And you know, you may want to check in with your stores to see if they're going to actually fulfill your orders for this set. But just to focus on Surging Sparks here, $128. This is the pre-market price. Again, there's no point really to talk about the price of this because it's not really out yet, and it should be going for around that from a Canadian perspective, $150 to $165. I think we're going to be closer to that $160 mark rather than the $150 with this one, which is crazy, which is bringing us into a new level of pricing for Pokemon booster boxes in general. And I can't say that that's going to continue to be the trend after this set comes out, but it's something that we all should start to think about, because Surging Sparks is going to be a little bit more of an expensive booster box due to the availability of this product. Just to focus on the set itself, of course it's a fantastic set. Of course it's going to be one of the top sets from the Scarlet and Violet era, one of the top sets of the year, of course. We've got several Pikachus, of course, the special illustration rare Pikachu. We've got Lisey's Appeal. Yes, we've got Lisey's Appeal, which I pulled. I pulled Lisey's Appeal, and in fact, it's actually right over here. So I pulled that card myself, and that one is going for around $300 to $400 Canadian currently, which is an insane amount. And that's also what's going to drive this booster box up. We've got Lisey's Appeal, we've got Pikachus. Pull rates are not out yet, but based on what I pulled from my booster box, when I did open it, I was able to pull 1 special illustration rare and 3 illustration rares, which is not too bad. I could have been a little bit lucky, because luck of the draw, you got 1 booster box and you got something nice in it. But only time will tell. Once, you know, TCG Player and all these other websites release their data for what the pull rates are on this, we'll know how difficult the pull rates are and how much this booster box is going to go up by, because of course the two are correlated at the end of the day. But I just talked a lot about Surging Sparks. Of course, it's due to release November 8th, coming out next Friday, and it's one that you want to consider investing in. If you can pick up a few booster boxes, put them on the side, then kind of watch it to see what happens, because we don't know if the distributors will get a new stock and then sell them to the stores. But I think before it goes even crazier, I would add a couple more to my collection. So Surging Sparks takes the #1 spot in the top 5 products you want to consider investing in for November. Anyways, folks, that is my top 5 sealed products that I will be investing in for this month. I will be heavily looking at some Surging Sparks, of course, and of course adding a couple of Stellar Crown booster boxes, as they're still relatively affordable. Let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are on these top 5, and if there are other sealed products that you want to consider investing in for the month of November. And if you guys like this content, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. You guys are the greatest. My name's TRV, and we'll see you all next time.